So, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to SafeWord.
Bow, 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 bow.
All right.
Ow.
As always, this is your platform for teaching, learning, and opening the eyes of our audience to the world of kink, BDSM, and relationships. Y'all know who it is. It's your host, Mr. K. Marcos.
And I am your other host, Orora Storm.
And it's your co-host, Miss Sasha Lencher. Period.
Yeah, period. End of story. So, if you watched our last video, you have an idea of what the kink of the month is. But if you didn't, then I guess you're just going to have to piece this little baby together because I ain't going to give you no information. But if you want to reach out to us, you know, and that video and all that will be in the description box below. All right.
And while you're down there, go ahead and hit the like, because you know you're going to like what you see here. And then go ahead and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all your educational content around kink, BDSM, and relationships.
That's way too fun.
I know, right? Like, I love that. Miss Sasha brought that in and we just stuck with it. We're going to have shirts on and we do rainbow hands.
Relationships with the rainbow.
Relationship.
And the hands are going to be
work
right
on
here
it.
with the rainbow.
Work on it. You need hands to work on your
Relationships.
relationship. All right. So if you have just landed on this page and you have no idea what the heck you're watching, where have you been? You've been under a rock. But if you have no idea, right, of what you're watching, this is SafeWord. And here on SafeWord, we have a safe word of the day. We use this safe word to stop, halt, and completely put a pause on all topics of conversation. So, SafeWord crew, you just mad because I'm happy. All right, SafeWord crew, would you like to let everybody else know what the safe word of the day is? If you don't know, it's right here on the board. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Breathe.
Love how we heard.
Yeah, like that was unscripted too. Like we all just.
No, we didn't.
You can tell we're feeling this safe word tonight. All right. So we use that safe word to make it stop, halt, and pause, right? But here on SafeWord, we use Zoom, not for much longer, but we use Zoom. So Zoom has audio issues.
Damn.
So sometimes we can't hear each other saying the safe word and shit don't stop. So, SafeWord crew, we'd like to show everybody what we do when we're saying the safe word and no one's stopping. Throw that symbol up right there. Make sure you say the safe word of the day, which is breathe, so that everybody knows what it is. All right, Mr. K. Marcos, Miss Sasha, do we have hot topics? Woo! Ooh, God, that was pretty. That was too pretty.
Yeah, I got one thing for tonight. I heard about it this morning, and I don't know. You guys have probably heard about it by now, but are you guys familiar with the name Courtney Taylor?
Oh, yeah, I heard about that today. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I heard about it this morning. So I was just like, that'd be perfect to like bring up right now. So this chick, Courtney Taylor, she's an OnlyFans model. And that's where they're pinning a lot of like, you know, her notoriety to is like her presence on OnlyFans, Instagram, stuff like that. But she's a very beautiful woman. And it just so happens that she stabbed her boyfriend to death.
What? I haven't heard this one, so this is news to me.
Stabbed.
She stabbed her boyfriend to death. Why?
Well, so there's not a lot of information out right now, but really what everybody's
no info on how, what, wait.
Yeah.
So someone stabbed someone, there's no info on it?
Well, so that's the thing is like on her Instagram profile or on her OnlyFans, I'm not sure which one it was. They just kept on referencing like on her social media profile that she posted a very angry video and appeared to be covered in blood. But nobody looked into it too much because, you know, like she does shoots, you know, like they didn't know if it was part of a photo set that they were doing. And so now they're kind of trying to admit it as evidence. So based upon what I've heard since this morning.
So wait, it was a photo set that somebody was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like
no, they thought it was a photo set. She posted okay. She posted the video and looks like she's got blood on her.
Okay.
But nobody paid too much attention to it. Like at the time, nobody looked too far into it, but now they're going back saying, holy crap, save that video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Because they think it happened relatively close, if not at the same time as the actual incident.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I saw an interview about it later on about oh god, more.
Have you looked her up? Have you seen her at all?
Oh yeah, she's bad. She's a little baddie.
She's a smoke show.
Yeah, she's hot. She's
so
like
everybody's wondering if that's gonna
kind of chick. She's white,
saying
but
like
she's
they don't
sassy.
know if that's gonna play a role in like how this trial goes down.
So I saw a clip of her on No Jumper, and it's a podcast where a lot of adult entertainers go on, a lot of rappers and stuff. They could be very candid. A lot of adult models have gone on there and spilled tea about what they do. Long story short, she was on the show and she was elaborating on who she was, her following. She has like 2 million followers on OnlyFans. So she kills like top percentile creators. Right. Yeah, so she has a huge name for herself. But in this interview, she was being super candid. She was like, yeah, I like niggas. Like, I like black dudes. And she's like, I'm submissive in the bed, but other than that, can't nobody tell me what to do. Like, it was very like, I'm a toxic bitch. And everyone and anyone who had something to say about their relationship pretty much attested to just that. She was the aggressive one in the relationship. And I saw video footage. Y'all gonna have to find that. But she's covered in blood. Like she stabbed them. She stabbed him to death in their high-rise apartment. She was arrested in her bra with blood all over her. I'm not even exaggerating. So when you said that, I'm like, bruh, that video was really, insane. And they didn't really put it in the media. I saw other outlets like putting it on like different social blogs or whatnot, but they weren't really talking about it because if the shoe was on the other foot, because Miss Gabby Petito, she was gone and there was Amber Alerts for that baby. But this man got stabbed in a high rise and people had to, what's going on? Like no one knows what's going on. They didn't even know if she was in custody. So yeah, sorry, I just, that was a good one.
No, you're good. Well, that's all I had for hot topics. So
it was juicy.
Short and sweet. We're going to be short and sweet tonight. But we did have a comment on that whole story, and somebody said he cheated, I think, and so that was like the add-on to that, like as to maybe why she. More development. Thank you for that tea. Thanks for the tea. But just leave. Like, why are you going to stab somebody?
Oh my gosh! Like that's just crazy. Just there's no amount of anger that like. Woosah, my friend.
All right, so let's. On that note, thank you, Mr. Kane, for your hot topics, murderous as they are. I love it. Okay. So
yes, she had some killer pussy.
Right. We doing the kink of the month. The kink of the month, because it's the beginning of the month. Hence the reason I have, a new figure here. Mothra, spring. Okay. But I'm gonna give the audience that's watching tonight a chance. Okay, and we're gonna give them because there's a little bit of lag, so we're gonna get quiet. But I'm gonna ask if anybody figured out what the heck the kink of the month is. Did you watch the video? I'm only gonna give them about 30 seconds.
Right, and if you did, comment in the chat so we know.
Right, comment in the chat so that you're
breathing hard on y'all. Let us know. Drop it in the chat if you know what's up.
I feel like there's a dude watching YouTube right now that was like, yeah.
That's
it. Yeah.
All right, so nobody commented in. I am waiting no longer. I'm sorry if you guys are lagging a little bit further behind than what we got going on right here, but I got to keep the show moving forward. So if you did not figure it out, it is erotic exfoliation, also known as breath play. Yeah, asphyxiation. I'm sorry, asphyxiation. I know I said
exfoliation. I was like,
no, not exfoliation. I said exfoliation. I put an L in there. Okay, leave me alone. All right.
But now I'm seriously curious about erotic
straight up tearing me down. Look here, Mr. Breathe. Oh my God. Okay. So real recently, we've gotten in a lot of text messages and messages in about this particular kink. Okay. Is it safe? What are some safety tips? How can I play in it? Is it normal? All those kinds of things. So tonight, I am going to pester my crew about what exactly is breath play.
So,
go ahead, Miss Sasha. Go ahead. Take it away.
So I can't lie. I've dabbled in this area before, and I can't lie. I think I kind of like it. I think I do. Did nobody ask you nothing? Shut up. Anyway,
nothing.
I'm a brat, but don't act like
I never would have thought. Like if I had to guess.
Choke me.
Don't act like you know me a little bit or something.
Zade, choke me.
So I know that there are a few different kinds. Matter of fact, there's many different kinds because you can kind of mold this into many different genres of your play scene or your relationship. Yes. But they fall under two different categories. One would be autoerotic asphyxiation and then erotic asphyxiation. Okay, don't Kane. I have a big tongue. Remember we had that game when my tongue was like killing. Asphyxiation. I can say it. I'm not illiterate. Okay.
Right. We can't say it. It's a mouthful. Here, we're just gonna say breath play. Hence the reason the word is breath.
Breathe. Good God.
Shut up. My breath is good. I use Listerine beforehand. But there's auto and then there's erotic really for, asphyxiation. Right? So between erotic asphyxiation and autoerotic asphyxiation, the difference is who is the main person denying or the person who's being denied. Mm-hmm. So that is what is going to add to the auto or the erotic portion of it. So we're going to break those down. So an erotic asphyxiation, see, in erotic breath play. We're going to say that because I can't asphyxiate my tongue no more. There we go. Just erotic I'm about to choke my tongue like, trying to say asphyxiation. I'll give myself a seizure. So in erotic breath play, you are either the one denying your partner's air or your partner is the one who is taking the breath away from you. Oh, yeah, we like that sound. Slurp it out of you. And the the auto-erotic breath play. God, this is a mouthful. But when you're in the autoerotic realm, you're the one cutting off your own. You're cutting off your own breath supply.
I'm gonna breathe, because we got a comment.
Okay.
He said, just say asphyxiation. That's how he spelled it. Asphyxiation.
I just gotta say breath play because the way my tongue is set up in my mouth, it's rather large and in charge. We got a little bit of a speech impediment tonight. Okay, right. Leave my tongue alone. But that's the difference. Either you're the one giving. God,
you set yourself up for such a comment. Oh, see if somebody gets it.
Nope.
Nope.
Somebody gets
breathe on that one. I'm gonna breath, breathe, and
nope
on that one.
So you're either the one receiving, you're giving the asphyxiation, or giving it to yourself.
Right.
One of the two. It depends on who's in control. You're in control of yourself, or you're doing that with somebody else. So that's about that. We know what the base is, right?
Right. So
yes,
we need to get into what.
So now we have to get into the safety of it all. Since now we know what's going on, we have to get to the safety. Oh goodness! Here comes, and since we have our hall monitor of the evening, in the room, come in with the rules now. Make sure we have our enunciation correct. We're going to let him get the safety portion. He's our safety and sanity president. So go ahead, President, take the floor.
Wait, before you start, someone caught that joke. He said, "Nope, I'm going to leave her tongue alone."
Good, thank you.
Fucking Roy.
Oh. No, this is a new commenter tonight. I'm saying.
Oh,
that's
nice.
what like someone said.
Roy too.
Thank you. Thanks. President, you can take the floor.
All right. Exactly.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Right.
All right. So you know me, I got to be a downer with all the info and everything. I got to give you the logistics, the statistics, all that other shit. So, all right.
And
you good?
Go.
You good?
Bang.
All right, cool. All right. So first thing I got to let everybody know is, like there's always an important safety tips. Breath play is like one of the most dangerous, like right next to knife play. Like if you don't know what you're doing, you can really hurt yourself. So as a testament to that, almost 750 or autoerotic asphyxiation accounts for in between 250 to 1,000 deaths in the US alone.
Yeah.
All right. So those happen when, like you're not exercising like proper safety precautions, or you're trying to push your limit, which we don't recommend ever pushing your limit while you're by yourself. So it just comes down to like education. Just make sure you know what you're doing. Don't push yourself more than you can physically go. it's always important to have a safe word if you're practicing with a partner, and make sure like you're agreeing upon it. Make sure like both people know. It's
Right,
not like,
what the
hey, was
heck's
it
going
cucumber or
on?
pineapple? Like, what was it? Oh, she's good.
Yeah,
No,
You know,
especially in
just
this one,
make
you
sure
need a
both of you
safe
know,
word.
like,
Don't
hey,
play without a safe word.
Yeah.
hey, breathe, breathe, breathe. Okay, cool,
Breathe,
we're good.
yeah,
Yeah, all right,
okay,
come on,
good.
choke me. So always have your mind on your limits. Like, there's a lot more that I could like harp on this, but I'm gonna try and keep it like to a minimum with the downer tonight. Just make sure you know what you're doing.
I know you be coming in with the safety stuff, but I mean, like
I know.
a quick disclaimer, all out there. Okay, so yes, it's a dangerous kink, right?
Yeah.
And like King said, you have to know what the heck you're doing. But EA, we're gonna shorten this for everyone. EA, because you can also say EA, okay? EA is actually something that can be very enjoyable. All right. So why people do it or what's the attraction to it? Okay. We're using a lot of big words tonight. Breath play, erotic asphyxiation. All right.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Really, what most people know this as is choking. Okay. Have you ever been choked during a place scene, during sex, during, if you like that stuff? The reason why people are into it is because it literally cuts off the air supply. And when the rush comes back in, you feel lightheaded, dizzy, euphoric. It's kind of like feeling a high,
That head rush when you stretch.
Right. It makes the intensity of your orgasm for people that are into it that much more enjoyable,
I wish I had the sound deck set up.
Right.
Like, when I come in with the information, I'd like to do like that low trombone, like the
exactly. I have a feeling with the low trombone sound that you just did, you about to hit us with some more info. Okay.
All right, so
you have to warm it up. It's like, let your head sliding into the serious portions. Gear up.
Here we go. Buckle your seatbelts, everybody. We're about to take a ride. No, so honestly, like the rush of endorphins and everything that like happens when you get your breath back and that lightheaded, dizzy feeling, that's actually your body's survival mechanisms kicking in. So it's literally your brain flooding everything like, hey, we thought you were going to die. So here's some happy thoughts.
Here's some happy thoughts. Here, serotonin.
Let's soften the blow, literally.
Like, hey, remember that time you were so stressed out and had anxiety through the ass? Yeah. Okay, well, we're taking care of that.
We're taking care of that now.
Giving you a little bit of this, giving you a little bit of that. You good, champ? All right, cool. Let's get back to getting the hell out of here. No. So that's literally what's going on is dopamine, serotonin, and all kinds of other endorphins are getting released in your brain, trying to calm you from what your brain interprets as a traumatic situation.
Right. I think I would compare that to like being in the act of sex and getting to that portion where you almost can't stand it. Like before you get to that climax or before you get to ease into the climax, it's like before you get into the pinnacle of the roller coaster, that's what I would feel like that feeling would be. But a lot of people chase that feeling just like with drugs. It's kind of be a drug because we're chasing the dopamines, but there's a variety of reasons why people are on this thrill ride. And they either like the dominant or submissive portion of denying or being denied air. Because I know, anyways, they could like that aspect of it.
Anyways.
No, hell no. We were going to go down a rabbit hole. Like,
wait,
we were like hard
what
left.
We know, Miss Sasha, what we know.
I just picture like a little Indiana Jones theme going on in your head. Like when you were on that track, you were like, no, hit the lever with the shovel and everything.
Shut up. See, that's how I actually or you could be chasing the rush that makes the orgasm and overall sexual experience feel better. So that extra little bit of deprivation of something is adding to all the excitement.
Your life.
Like you are almost gonna die, and not oh Jesus, but like oh Jesus for real, like oh Jesus Lord. But make sure you have clear communication, and outside of your safe word, maybe have like a hand gesture or something outside of just that, but something else to go along with. Something just to tap out. It's gonna take a little bit more maybe, but making sure you have multiple ways to communicate, because you're not going to be able to talk. You'll be going to be full multiple ways. So you want to make sure you have more than one way to communicate with the partner. And there's also a number of different tools that you can use. What, Miss Orora?
I'm sorry, I'm reading comments.
What?
So it said Miss Sasha having flashbacks. She was panting her head and just what happened? She having a whole like
it's just
moment.
warm where I'm at. It's like 90 degrees today. So like I'm gonna need you guys to chill. It's Friday. Okay.
They're like, oh, she feeling herself. Wait, I want to know the story.
It's 90 degrees where I'm at, and we're trying to keep it to the point. I'm making sure y'all know there's so many different ways, and there's so many different tools that you can use to heighten this experience, but in a safe way. So you want to make sure that there's not something like frilly in the way, or you're using something a little too rough. I want to get the important things not to do out the way first. You don't want to use anything too tight, anything too rough. So you want to make sure it's something that is going to be soft enough on the skin, but have enough slack so you can be able to maneuver with your partner or free yourself a little bit. But you can use some belts and scarves and like bands, and there's different equipment that you can actually go to the store and buy. So if you're maybe starting, go to the store and maybe try that first and see how that works, and then incorporate some fun into it. But make sure you're being safe and you're communicating. Of course, we're going to harp on that because communication is the name of the game.
Okay, so I'm gonna piggyback on that, but I have to. I'm gonna piggyback on safety, but I'm gonna throw something in here that's gonna be a little wild, and I want to know if you guys have heard of it. Okay, so with this breath play, a lot of people now within the kink community, and I see pictures online, and people are taking pictures and videoing this like it's home amateur stuff, and it's something that people are practicing. So something that I've been seeing real recently with this is people are using gas masks. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah,
it's like a thing. That's a whole section.
It's a whole thing, but it's gotten on a bigger level because like people used to like just pose with the gas mask and be all sexy and do like like the OnlyFans shots or whatever, the glam shots. And here's my gas mask.
Like it's an accessory, but sometimes people take it a step further.
Now people are really starting to go, okay, well, why is this in kink? Because I was talking to somebody today and they're just like, I saw the whole picture thing, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna copy that and do that look. And then she tried it. And it's like a whole, they wait to a point, because I've never used a gas mask. I can't say that I've ever used it or used it on a client, but they wait to a point where they're just like, you got to have somebody with you, and you have absolutely you're running out of fucking air before somebody pulls this thing off. And it's crazy. About how long you can last, because the longer you can last, the bigger the rush, apparently. So I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But let's get back on the safety thing, because please know what you're doing and have a partner when you use a gas mask. Don't think that we're condoning this. I just wondering if you guys have seen that. Have you seen that? Let's ask that question first.
I haven't seen, I've heard of it, and in passing didn't pay too much attention to it, but now discussing it right now, I'm not gonna lie, a gas mask freaks me out, just because I've been in I was in the service, so we had gas chamber training and stuff like that where we had to wear our masks, and one of them was a little joke we used to play on each other was take the canisters off, because when the cans come off, the inlet shut and you can't breathe.
No.
So that was just a kind of a joke that we played on each other. And I remember one time I got caught completely off guard, and if you're not expecting it, being out of air is fucking terrifying.
Right.
It's like being in a mask, and trying to go to the gym. I commend people who can go to the gym, but you're doing
breathing mask.
No, even the ones with the little vents on it was still super hard to breathe, let alone something just engulfing your own head.
Right.
Yeah, no. Well, but I've seen it before.
We had a commenter add in on this. It's the adrenaline rush. The adrenaline kicks in on top of having no air,
I'm sure.
So it's like a blood rush plus your adrenaline kicks in. I can see where that could get in.
Oh, I'm sure we've all experimented with it. We're not, having flashbacks like Sasha over here.
She's like,
I'm just waiting for money. My palms itching.
Okay, well, you sitting here like this while we're talking about gas masks is not the look, mama.
I'm just minding my business, and here you come coming for me all day. You've been coming for me all evening, brother. Jeez. Can't scratch my hand in peace.
Okay, so literally getting back to the safety thing, because I brought up the gas mask. Don't think that SafeWord is condoning the gas mask unless you know what the heck you're doing, or you have a partner that knows what the heck they're doing, please have a safe word in place. Okay. Do some research before you experiment in that area. But one of the things that she was talking about earlier was like to use certain tools, and there is a choking, like a choking collar that gets just like with a dog, like when you pull on the collar, it gets tighter, but there's a safety mechanism in there so that it doesn't crush your air pipe or your windpipe. You can die from this, like if you're not practicing it safe. So please, we're not bringing it up so that you guys can go and just have fun. Okay.
Yeah.
So a big thing that I want to mention is that if you are using some kind of apparatus that does not have that safety measure involved, is to never tie knots, especially around the neck. It doesn't matter where it's at. Don't tie a knot, not even a slip knot, because sometimes you cannot get that undone quick enough if somebody's calling a safe word, or there's just not enough time to get a knot undone. So don't use the knots, don't use safety loop, none of that, no.
Or belts that like a regular belt, because even when you're pulling it in one direction, all it takes is for it to go
the other. Catch, and that's it. So like really honestly know what you're doing. I always suggest, like when people come to me and they're like, oh, I'm into choking. Okay, well, what do you choke with normally? Your hands, that way you can pull off, you have control over it.
And even with hands, you have to do it the right way so you're not crushing your partner.
Right. So, and speaking of that, if you are using something that's like a scarf, like Sasha said, or, rope, I don't ever suggest rope, but some people like that feeling of the rope around their neck. You want to come from behind, like from the backside, okay? And do it this way, because if somebody's been, it's really easy release. And we don't ever condone coming from behind on somebody, especially in a play scene, because you can't see how somebody's reacting to that. You can't see if somebody's calling a safe word. But in this instance, you want to be, you're coming from behind, but you can stand in front of the person and go around the back of their neck and do that. You know what I'm saying? So I just always like to, don't just start at the back of the head, gauge your partner, make sure that you guys have had negotiations, and make sure that it's starting back here so that the pressure isn't here. That's what I would say. So I don't know. Kane, you got anything to add on to that?
Yeah, so like just making sure that you have a clear head. One of the biggest things, like how this always turns into an injury, is a lot of people don't realize that it only takes between 6 to 8 pounds of pressure to crush your windpipe. All right, so coming with the information, boom.
That's why I said, Kane, you got anything to add to this? I knew you did.
They did a study, and I wanted to mention it, where like they did some grip testing on like men and women during orgasms, and found out that a man can exert almost 250 pounds of pressure per square inch in his palm during a powerful orgasm.
Right.
So 250 pounds is much greater than the 6 pounds it would take to crush that. So always remember, like if you're in the middle of hitting that pinnacle, hitting that peak, you're on your way, make sure you let go, just because that's a hell of an accident, and I can't imagine how terrible that would be to live down. So that's just one of the things, like just make sure that you're keeping a clear head, and remember your limits, remember boundaries, let go when it comes that time. And the one other thing that we did not mention that I wanted to talk about was, it's not just the neck that you can constrict in breath play.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I have seen a lot more lately and has been getting a lot of popularity is it came really popular when queening started coming out, but it's putting pressure and sitting on your chest. And so every time you exhale, you're not able to draw a full breath back in, and you're getting pressure there. And you don't get completely denied oxygen, but it is more difficult to breathe. And so that's also a form of breath play that you can engage in, especially for your first time. It's a lot less. Yes, Miss Orora.
Got something to add to this. Because if we are talking about just like all around the board breath play, okay, that was a really great one, sitting on the chest. But there's also, queening has a lot of different, things that fall under it. So one of the things that falls under queening is to smother or smothering. And if you don't know what that is, I'm going to need you to look it up. But that's literally, I'm going to give a very, educated baseline here.
That's how you think.
You sit on someone's face. So, you have pure control over when somebody can't breathe anymore because they're usually tapping your thigh. So I mean, like if you in a relationship or not, you in a sexual relationship, you in a place like, and you want to go there, that's a way to play around with it too. That's a little bit safer. So yeah. Okay.
All right, so I think we're gonna wrap it up for tonight, and we definitely had a lot of fun. So this was definitely one of our better lives. Thank you, girls, so much for joining us tonight. You guys are awesome.
No, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you. Yeah.
All right, so we got to hit some cute poses before we get out of here. But before we do that, want to make sure all you guys know, practice safe breath play, erotic asphyxiation, autoerotic asphyxiation, and make sure you, like I said, you know what you're doing. Have your safe word and have a great weekend. Maybe choke somebody.
We'll catch you guys posing later. While he's taking us out.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, so okay, all of the thumbnails are going to be you guys looking all cool and me.
So give me like 5 seconds
to make that face.
This is why we do this, because YouTube likes to cut us off early. So if you guys like seeing our face and just talking random,
just
that's
when
cool.
You see that face I just made, ignore it. Please ignore the face I just made.
Right, we're trying to pose for thumbnails because I pull from these videos for thumbnails. Okay, so I think that's all. I think that's all we got tonight. We love y'all, and as Kane said, join us next Friday. We here for you every Friday. We love you. Good night.